So in this eye, what's very obvious is high cholesterol. You see that white ring going around here? You see how thick it is? That's cholesterol ring, and it's turning white. Usually it's purple. You're not supposed to have a cholesterol ring in there at all. So this is really, really bad, and this needs to be cleaned up quickly. Okay, you got to alkalize the body quickly with 100% fruit diet. I wouldn't waste any time with that, and use herbs for circulation to boost blood flow to the heart region. The bowels are very chronic. See, right here is the ascending colon. Right here, the transverse colon. Here's the descending colon. Look how tight and wound it is. Okay, and see how dark it is. That's chronic bowels. Okay, you gotta fix it quickly. And if you look closely, there's a dark ring going around the pupil. See how dark it is? That's malabsorption. You are malabsorbed. The mucus plaque on the small intestine is blocking absorption of nutrients. This is actually quite dangerous, so it should be cleaned up quickly. If you look closely, there's fine lines leaching out of the pupil. It's called radii solaris. Indicates there's toxic tunnels of waste leaching out from the gut to other body parts, especially the brain section right here. Okay, it's quite pressing. It needs to be cleaned up. There's also a thick skin ring. If you look at a dark ring, not the white, but the dark ring going around, that's a skin ring. Indicates you're not sweating as you should be, or your metabolism is not as high as it should be, and this should be fixed. Okay, this is often due to a weak thyroid, but also due to weak kidneys. When the kidneys don't filter out waste, the skin will try and take the burden, and the skin is not as efficient, so it will deposit waste underneath the skin. The small pupil, the tiny pupil, indicates nervous tension, okay, due to weak adrenals. And I'll show you how adrenals are connected to this. If you look closely around the bowels, there's a line going around the bowels. That's called an autonomic nerve wreath. Indicates a weak digestive system, or getting to the weaker side, and it should be addressed. So this section right here is the pituitary gland. That's the master gland, the master endocrine gland, the gland that controls all the other endocrine glands. And when it's weak, they're all going to be weak as well. And right here is the pineal gland. This affects potential sleep. So pineal gland controls sleep, but also controls some hormone regulation as well. We want this in good working order. So I would clean the brain section out, and perhaps use a neurological tincture and a circulation tincture. Right here, it hits the eye and the upper jaw. Now, this is bad because if the eyes are compromised, you have potential eye issues arising. You start to have weaker eyesight. Okay, and the dark line here indicates that it's moving to the chronic side. And this should be cleaned up quickly. In fact, this right here are the sinuses, the nose, mouth, upper jaw, lower jaw, tongue, and it's congested with lymph. Okay, this entire section. So you need to take steps to help break the mucus over here. You can do stuff like a neti pot with peppermint oil. You can chew horseradish roots. You can take some cayenne pepper, anything to help break this sinus congestion. You can also do hot and cold compresses at the back of the head, do some eye washes. Do some ear candling, move mucus in the ears, anything you can relieve congestion in the head region, because this is lymphatic pressure, okay, going over there. And if it accumulates, you're going to have issues arising. See that dark line right there? That big dark mass, that hits the thyroid, okay, right smack on the thyroid, and it's chronic. So it will lead to potential thyroid issues, okay. Remember I said that you have metabolism weakness? That's due to weak thyroid, okay, and the skin ring. So we need to address it. Use a thyroid lift tincture. Beside it right here is a parathyroid. Okay, and on top here are tonsils. Tonsils are completely covered with lymph or mucus. Okay, so there's potential issues arising. You want to avoid that. Use the circulation tincture. Use the neurological tincture, and alkalize the diet. That's number one. So right here is where the voice box is located. Right here is the esophagus, and right here is the scapula. Okay, and the upper back is right here. See, and this dark spot right here hits the middle back. And the lower back is right here as well. So the entire back region is compromised with lymph or mucus, stagnant mucus. And the spine runs right here. So you have potential back issues arising, okay, with congestion. The cholesterol ring is covering pretty much everything here, and I don't like that sign at all. And right here is where the lower back is located, as I mentioned, and right here is where the bladder is. See that dark spot right here? Okay, so they're all weak. So you need to address this. Clean the kidneys up, and the bladder will take care of itself, okay? Because the bladder is so close to the kidneys. And when there's inflammation in the bladder, it's because the kidneys are not filtering out waste. Okay, you see that dark spot right there? Okay, it hits right smack on the kidneys. Okay, so you have chronic kidneys. It's getting really dark, and it shouldn't get any darker than this. You have to reverse it, because it shows clear kidney weakness and congestion. And we gotta remove this. Use like 2 different kidney teas. Use a kidney tincture to help remove the mucus in here. And right here are the adrenals. Adrenals control the kidneys, and they thankfully are the subacute level. So we still need to address it. I would use an adrenal tincture to help strengthen these parts, because the adrenals control the kidneys, adrenal control peristalsis, control breathing. It's very important that you fix your adrenals, because they also fight inflammation, okay? And they make use of minerals as well, so we need that in good working order. Right here is the right foot, knee, and thigh region. You see they're also compromised as well, okay? And here's the pelvis, the abdominal wall, and the groin region, all compromised as well. We need to address this. Use the lower circulation tincture to help boost blood flow to this region. See that dark spot right there? It hits the testes. Okay, I don't like that at all. That's not a good sign. I would use the prostate formula to help strengthen this part. Okay, the meal, it has herbs to strengthen the prostate, but also strengthen the male reproductive area as well. And right here is where the pancreas is located. Also moving to the darker side. That affects your digestion. Right here is where your liver is located, okay? You can see a subacute level of lymph stagnation. Liver is a chemical factory of the body. The part that transmutes chemicals is essential to get it better. Use the liver and pancreas formula. And right here is where the gallbladder is located, okay? There's subacute lymph stagnation there. So it's to the weaker side, and it needs to be addressed. So right here is where the ribs, thorax, and breast region are located, okay? It's compromised as well of lymph. Use a respiratory tea and a respiratory tincture to help address these parts. Right here is the upper and lower lung region, okay? Also congested as well. We need to remove the congestion by using herbs for the respiratory tract and break the mucus. This section right here is where the ears are located, and the mastoid and the medulla region. So the mastoid and medulla are responsible for dizziness, balance, and equilibrium. If you allow it to get more compromised, you start to experience those issues, and it's not a good thing. We don't want that there at all. So use brain and nerve tincture to help strengthen these parts. And right here is where the sex impulse of the brain is located. Okay, it's also getting congested as well, libido, and beside it is the hypothalamus. Okay, that controls the thyroid, but also deals with sensory. It breaks down sensory information from the outside world to the brain. It also deals with hunger and thirst as well. So we need to put that in good working order. Use maybe a brain glandula and the tincture and herbs for the brain to strengthen this part. So in this eye, what's very present to me is the level of lymph stagnation. So when you see that greenish yellow, it looks like a brown color. The dark brown is chronic, but when you see the yellow and light brown, that's also a lymph stagnation. It means the kidneys right here are not filtering out waste properly. So the lymph system, the system that is in every single cell, is backing up. And when it backs up, these acids will start to affect tissue, organ, and glands. And when you see it dark like that, that's chronic. So the kidneys are definitely chronic right here. And as I explained, there are other chronic sections of the body which need to be addressed. But the main part to fix is the kidneys and the adrenals, because if the kidneys can filter out waste and you can move the lymph system with 100% fruit diet, this will clear up. It will become much lighter, okay? And the bowels will get lighter as well. But it's going to take a lot of work, because this is deep, okay? And the cholesterol is something that should not be there at all. It's quite it's quite prominent. Okay, it will get thicker and thicker white if you don't do anything about it. So you need to fix this quickly. 100% fruit diet is what I will use. Okay, it's the only way you're going to be able to move the lymph system properly. Like something like a 20-day or 30-day dark grape only diet with the herbs. Some of the herbs mentioned will take you a long way. You got to clean the bowels. You got to clean the kidneys, adrenals. You got to clean the brain. You got to get rid of the cholesterol ring. And if you look closely, you see a lot of red blood vessels right here. It indicates high acidosis, and acidosis is what creates a stagnation of lymph, which in turn will cause damage to organ tissue and glands. So we need to clean this up quickly.